And welcome to another session of Something to Add. Something to Add. It is our, I would say it's our weekly show, and what we're doing is we go back and take a page out of history of the 90s video games, and we kind of just check out some of the pages of some memorable articles and ads that they put on there. I love this. But, of course, I'm not alone. Returning back for this series is Mr. DC. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I want to thank for people that have been viewing a couple of our couple of pages from our other episodes to say thank you so much for giving the hits, enjoying what you see here. If you see anything that stands out, feel free to leave a comment down below on some of the pages that we talk about or the ads, and tell us there anything that we missed that we would love to kind of go back and talk about, like maybe like a free episode where we just kind of just talk about stuff that maybe people mentioned that we miss. But these couple of pages ads that we're going to be doing next is quite a handful. When I gave them to DC, he was pretty excited to talk about some of these things. So DC, let's go ahead and just get right into it. Let's talk about one of the most rival things with Nintendo and Sega, and this one right here is a perfect example of the whole Genesis does what Nintendo don't. A very popular phrase that has been around in the early 90s, and still one of the memorable things that they did. And one of the things that I love about this rivalry was the exclusives. Exclusives were really important at that time, and it was more of like, who can get the big names or big hits on their console. And Nintendo
you can't get bigger than Michael Jackson back in the day. That's
right.
It. Like, basically, Nintendo should have just been like, all right, we lost. That's fine. We lost console war. That's fine.
Right.
That's okay.
All right. I 100% agree, because people forget that, Sonic the Hedgehog, some of his influence was from, Michael Jackson. And even some of the old school music beats were coming into Sonic, helped by Michael Jackson. But what people don't know is about this game, Moonwalker, is actually based on not only the Smooth Criminal video, but that Smooth Criminal video is a clip from the movie Moonwalker, an anthology movie with a bunch of stuff. It's if you've never seen it, it's pretty nuts. In a funny way.
If you need to, you can pause right here, go watch it, and then come back and then follow along. Because seriously, you are doing yourself a disservice by not watching it.
Yeah, because I think when I was younger watching it on MTV, I remember the Smooth Criminal video was very quick, because the actual dance routine is actually about 10 minutes long. So in the music video on MTV, they would shorten it 4, so they would just speed it up really quick. But you get the iconic Jackson Lean and all that stuff, the machine gun, the suit. This was a very iconic video and a very iconic dance routine, because that's the main reason you watch Moonwalker, right? You watch for the dance routines. Nothing more, nothing less. And so, but Sega got this to happen. They made a Moonwalker video game, and it's kind of crazy, because how the hell do you make a Michael Jackson video game? Because also, too, DC, if you didn't know this, but there was an arcade edition, too. And the arcade edition was 4-player co-op. It was insane.
I did that. You better believe. Me and my friends, we take turns going through the different arcade things, and we all gave Moonwalker a go. We had to do our little spin and go. Pow!
Yes, I would love if someone got the rights to bring that to a console, or bring it to, somewhere to download and play that game, the same way they do a lot of the classic arcade games nowadays. I would love that, but I don't know who owned the rights and everything to that, so it's insane.
Oh, that's never not in our lifetimes. I will bet you a shiny nickel, or a shiny top hat fedora spin.
Nice. So right here on the front, the Michael Jackson iconic pose. I mean, what more to say about that? It's actually a really good. I don't know if they took the clip out, or this is a really good artist that pulled that off, but it looks really, really good. Even though they probably couldn't do the face, that's why they really kept it really low with the shadows and whatnot. But I definitely enjoyed that. But let's get to the very top up here, introducing Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and you kind of get to see some of the clips that you have. The one on the top left in the first screen over here, I like, because it says in the graveyard Michael Jackson's dancing with ghouls. And like that's one of the things that you do in the Michael Jackson game. You get people to go and dance routines, and then you die.
Yep.
Not a good way to go out, but it is what it is.
I mean, if I got to dance with Michael Jackson as the last thing I ever did, you know what? I'm okay with that.
And then we go further down to like more of his poses that he's like at a little parking lot and everything like that. And then we go a little bit further down to the right side. But here's the one thing that was really interesting. All these poses on the third screen, as you can see, all these poses that Michael Jackson does here. I thought it was very interesting because, like, I am pretty impressed that they wanted to show every single pose that he does, and it makes you feel like it's not really mocap, really. Do you think you don't think it's mocap? They just kind of no, right? So like, I don't know how these developers managed to make it work really well for him to mimic all the moves that Michael Jackson does with that. I think that's pretty remarkable.
I never looked into the behind the scenes and stuff like that. But I mean, like there's stuff like Prince of Persia and the like, where it was such smooth animation, and it's like this, it's silky for the time, of course. But yeah, like I am not a fan of this type of game, but by golly, I played the hell out of this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what would you say? It's like a platformer action, I guess? What would you describe, Moon?
I mean, yeah, like platformer a little bit. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Shinobi because you got to go find the kids. You got to get them all rescued and stuff like that. And of course, there's the end part.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, definitely a little bit like platformer reaction-y, that sort of thing. But it's just the kicks, the little your monkey buddies, and you got the shinies and everything, and I mean the music, the freaking music.
Yes, all the iconic stuff from Thriller to Bad. The Way You Make Me Feel probably is on there. Billie Jean, probably all those hits are on there. It's basically a greatest hit, and it's impressive how Sega managed to make those bits for those. So it was pretty impressive. Let's get to this article right here. It's here. The hit music video becomes the first ever hit music video game. It was designed by Michael Jackson himself. His moves match his video so closely, it's uncanny. The animation is unmatched. The stereo sound use Michael's actual voice, and the music is unlike anything you ever heard before in a video game. It's only possible with the 16-bit power of Genesis. Now, let's pause for a minute. So, are you saying that if this game didn't come to Nintendo, would it not work very well on there?
Nope.
That's what you believe?
Would not have happened. Yep, 100%.
No,
Nintendo,
you don't. Now, are you joking
fried.
with me? Are you joking with me, DZ? I can't see you. But if you're smiling hard over there, are you joking or are you being serious? Like, no, I don't think.
I'm 100% serious. I am a Sega Genesis brat through and through.
Okay.
You will never, ever, ever see me go like, oh yeah, you know what? Super Nintendo kicked Sega's butt. No, not at all. Like, this is one of the reasons why, like it says up at the top, Sega Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
So you say Nintendo?
That's my humble opinion. Opinion of Endgame Boss Program.
I was gonna say, like, do you think Nintendo were not Michael Jackson fans? You think?
I mean, they might have given liked him okay, but I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but here's the weird part to me. The weird part about this is, this was the time too where Nintendo had that license or some condition of, if you make a game on our console, you can't make it on another console. And that's why we had two different Aladdin games, two different Castlevania games and all that. And I wonder, would it have been possible to have two different Michael Jackson games if Michael Jackson was to make something on Super Nintendo? Would we get the Aladdin, the split between those two? You know where I'm coming from with that?
I know where you're coming from, but I think MJ would have been like, nah, if you don't like this, then you don't like me, and I don't like you then, so
okay.
bye.
Okay.
Uses.
All right. The totally evil Mr. Big, which, oh my gosh, name a game that is a brawler that there's not a Mr. X or a Mr. Big in there. Is kidnapping the children. By the way, Mr. Big, I think it's played by like Joe Pesci from Goodfellas in Casino. Anyways, is kidnapping the children of the world. It's up to you to rescue them in 16 different rounds. Take on Mr. Big's deadly henchmen in Club 30 using your kicks, jump spins, punches, and hat attacks. Battle wild dogs and oh man, I don't like dogs. Battle wild dogs and young punks in a high-rise garage. Fend off zombies in a cemetery. Damn, they ain't playing. And dodge laser beams in Mr. Big's tech hideout. This game got it all. All of this to the stereo sound of Smooth Criminal, Beat It, Thriller, Bad, and Billie Jean. Finally, you transform into a giant flying robot and use your own laser weapons and heat-seeking missiles. And from the moment you hit start button, you know one thing for sure. You can't do this on Nintendo. Which, yes, but here's the thing that gets me. Why is Ultra Beast in this Genesis console? That's Ultra Beast.
They just had a little slip up. The guy had forgot to put the correct label on it. They just got a little lazy, and I mean that's one thing. You know, obviously, Altered Beast can also become Moonwalker. I mean, it could just change. Like if my MJ is in a certain proximity within a Genesis console, any cartridge in it will automatically become Moonwalker. And no, you can't do that on Nintendo.
I feel like it's also a missed opportunity to not put like Sonic 1 in there since, you know, they are kind of, you know, in that kind of style. I think that was just like a missed opportunity in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah. And so, all right. Is there anything that else stood out to you in this ad? Anything else for you?
I mean, just this was the after Phantasy Star, this was the next other game that I super got into in the Genesis way back when.
Okay. I was late to the party. I didn't get a chance to play it when it first came out, but it is a very interesting game. And it's interesting that we never got like any more Michael Jackson style games. Not necessarily like Moonwalker, but another game like starring Michael Jackson going on another adventure or something. So it's very interesting that this game only got one chance, and you know, it just remains as, you know, the classic of the 90s. It will forever be the 90s for this kind of game. So
I mean, when you ace it, do you really want to try to go back and try to make the magic happen again, or do you want to end up on top, you know?
Yeah, that's very true. All right.